And we are here with the Skillcast on Tuesday, March 14th, 2017.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So, uh, not that much to talk about except for one controversy this week, but we will
Well,
still.
I mean, there's like some things to talk about, but like that's a big thing that like is kind of making a bit of a stink at the moment.
Oh, is it? So, should we just get right into it?
Let's just get right into it, get it right out of the way. So, I'm sure everyone knows that Zelda Breath of the Wild came out fairly recently.
Yeah, March 3rd with the release of the console, the
Yeah, with
Switch.
the Nintendo Switch. And for the most part, it's been meeting a lot of critical acclaim. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Daniel, please remember to post that butt picture again.
Yeah, you can never post enough Zelda-ass.
Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda-ass.
uh, but we want to talk about not so much like. Okay, it's Jim Sterling again. We always bring up Jim Sterling, as always.
He is our waifu.
Yeah, he is. He is our no waifu, no laifu #1 kiss boy, Jim motherfucking Sterling. He made a review on his website, and he also did a extensive Jimquisition about it as well. Talking about Breath of the Wild, and mostly he was very, very, very critical about one aspect of the game. I'm sure that he was critical on other aspects, but in particular, he was very critical on the weapon degradation system that is very prominent throughout Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, so for any of you who don't know, or you haven't played Breath of the Wild because you don't have a Wii U, or because the Switch is impossible to find still, when you're playing the game, rather than just having like the Kokiri sword and then you find the Master Sword halfway through the game or something like that, you there's a variety of different weapons, spears, clubs, all sorts of things, and you can have a large number of them. You can increase the capacity with Korok seeds, but you can carry around a bunch of weapons and they can break. And I think that later in the game, some of them can be repaired. I'm still playing through it. It's a very long game,
Mm-hmm.
but for the at least where I'm at right now, you can't repair them. They wear down, they break, and you can wear down a weapon depending on the enemy. Like in the course of like one enemy, uh, you can just like be smacking, 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 smacking. It'll say like your sword's badly damaged, and then you smack it 4 more times and it shatters, and it does a critical strike when it shatters. And the point of that, as far as I understand it, is because it's a survival game. You're in a world that's already fallen 100 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the point of the bad weapon durability and having so many weapons and enemies constantly drop the weapons they're holding is so that you have to think about combat. You can't just rush in and spam B and then just move on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get into every fight. Uh,
Yeah. And also to that extent, like with weapon degradation, there's also, a hunger system, and like you can get cold, you can get hot, etc., etc.
yeah, you don't get hearts from jars. You actually have to eat to restore health, or I guess stay at an inn.
Mm-hmm.
But God knows that's really not worth it.
Yeah. The point of all this explaining is like Jim was very, very critical of the weapon degradation system in particular. And combined with like a number of other critical things he had, like performance issues and some other things, he gave on his website, I believe, a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, he gave a 7 out of 10, and that triggered a lot of people, including me. I'll be honest. It uh, what triggered me the most was just that his review went up on Metacritic, and it just happened to be enough to tip the scale from a 98 overall aggregate to a 97.
Shock and dismay.
Yeah, so that pissed off A lot of people,
A
including
lot of
me.
people.
And it pissed off some people enough to the point where they decided to DDoS his site where the review was hosted. And as of this recording, it's still down.
Yeah, it's like the middle of the afternoon. It's still down on the 14th.
We can't even look at his review to make sure of everything we're saying because we can't access it.
Yeah, I can only like look up reviews that are referring to his review.
So we do have kind of a second-hand knowledge of this thing because pretty much from within a couple hours of it being up, several days ago, it's just been barraged.
Yeah, and his YouTube is still going up and working, and I'm just trying to look at it to see if like there's like a huge bombardment of downvotes. Uh,
It didn't seem like it to me, even on
uh,
the Jimquisition.
yeah, more than average, but like less than like 10%.
It's not Fine Brothers.
No, it's not. It's not. No, no. It's not like the Game Grumps doing an episode of Table Flip, but it's like, hey, we're hosting it on Sling. This is just an advertisement.
Ah, God, the cancer. I can't even stand it. It's like Aaron and Danny, you guys will never fucking watch this, or you probably never even hear of us. Even if we become popular, you guys will be like literal rock stars by comparison. But still,
Danny is a literal rock star.
well, yeah, but you know what I mean. You guys will never fucking watch our stuff. But if you ever do see this, you have to know. You have to know how insufferable that is to
I'm
like
sure they
everyone.
do. It's a contractual thing.
Yeah, I know it has. It's just whatever is keeping you doing that. Stop whenever you can.
I think they stopped a while ago. Whatever. Back to Jim.
Yeah. So, yeah, his site's been barraged by DDoSing. I'm not gonna go too deep into that because I'm not gonna be fucking objective about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
like, I will go out and just say, like, DDoSing anyone just over opinions is pretty fucking petty and insufferable. If you do that, shove something unpleasant down your throat. I don't know.
perhaps consider fornication with the nearest metallic object. But yeah, like I'm kind of divided at the moment, to be honest, because Jim, Dan's more of a fan of Jim than I am. I do watch Jim, but I'm aware that me and him have a lot of disagreements. And this isn't the first time we've disagreed on something, but most of what we disagree on is politics.
Mm-hmm. But
And
please go on to like what your opinion is compared to his in this regard.
well, he does not like I've heard him say multiple times he hates weapon durability systems, that they are never good.
Uh-huh.
And I can't understand that opinion because it's definitely an inconvenience,
Mm-hmm.
but in instances where they're introduced, usually that's the point. I mean, some of his review, I read it before. I can't read it right now to check because it's DDoSed. But I know he mentions several times that he thought that Breath of the Wild was a game where it makes everything inconvenient, and he didn't like how inconvenient everything was made. But that was exactly what made it good. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was the point. That was the entire design, was that the world is rough.
That
And
it's a staple of a survival game.
yeah, it's like I don't really understand what Jim wants.
Mm-hmm.
If you took out stuff like, I don't know if he specifically mentioned this because again I can't check, but I did read before, so I'm going off memory. So if he doesn't like stuff like the thunderstorms striking you when you're wearing metal, or the cold freezing you, so you have to wear something warm like the sweater or whatever the hell it's called, the double,
The
or the
double.
fact, yeah, exactly, or eat spicy chilies, or your weapons breaking and you having to get more, then I don't know what he wants. If you take all of that stuff out, it it becomes really bland. It's like, okay, I'll just use one weapon. There's like hundreds of weapons, but I only need the one, whatever's the strongest one.
Mm-hmm.
I never have to like I can go into a frozen environment or like lava wearing a full suit of plate mail and I'm fine, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's no point. You might as well just make like another Ocarina of Time style game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Although, hell, even Ocarina of Time, you needed, certain tunics to go to certain dungeons.
yeah, even in Ocarina of Time, they touched on that a little bit. It wasn't too inconvenient. Maybe I'm being too hyperbolic, and he thinks that it's just slightly too inconvenient. Well, all I can tell you is that the more convenient they make it, the more the entire thing loses its meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I can say to Jim is that it seems to me, honestly, like he just doesn't like Breath of the Wild. And that would be okay. I mean, I don't like Metal Gear Solid, to be honest, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like, I wouldn't go, I really don't like Metal Gear Solid. Fucking Metal Gear Solid gets a 6 out of 10 overall for me. Like they're all bad. Uh, you know, games can be good even if you don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's
that's the
the
important
difference
part.
between, opinion based and an objective base.
Yeah. It, it just frustrates me because the things he has a problem with are benefits to me. I mean, the weapon durability
Mm-hmm.
is inconvenient, but it's like with Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Nobody ever plays Dark Souls and goes, "Man, this game is bad because I
It's
have to."
hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very inconvenient to have to run back to my corpse to get my souls or whatever the hell. It's again, that's the whole point of the game is that
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Uh, what was I gonna... My opinion is, now, keep in mind, I haven't actually played Breath of the Wild myself. Me and Adam have talked about it extensively, but I've just, like, been hearing reviews for the most part. I it's an interesting concept with weapon degradation from a game design standpoint, because, like, this has been a staple in a number of games for a long time, and it's done in different ways. Like, you bring up Dark Souls. Dark Souls has weapon degradation. Your weapon's not destroyed, as far as I understand, or your armor's destroyed, but you need to get it repaired, or else, like, it loses its functionality. But I believe Jim, in, like, one of his Jimquisitions, actually compared Dark Souls to, like, how Zelda does it, whereas, like, Dark Souls does it annoyingly too, because, like, you have to go through the process of having to go back to the main base and get everything repaired, etc., etc., and that can be a little tedious. But Dark Souls is different in the way that Breath of the Wild handles its weapons. With Breath of the Wild, for the most part, every weapon's disposable, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
With um, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, those kind of games, every weapon is fairly unique in their play style. Some are heavy, some require certain stats, some are magically based, and, like, you can do, like, entire play styles based around whatever weapon or kit you want to use, and you can keep that up throughout the game. Whereas Breath of the Wild, hey, you found a weapon you like, well, say goodbye.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. And you have to the thing with Breath of the Wild is it forces you to get out of your comfort zone. You
Yeah.
can't just rely on, "Oh, I found a what was that one weapon that I was using?" Like, "Oh, I found a knight's broadsword or whatever." It's, a very comfortable master sword feel to it.
Uh-huh.
Uh But you can't just like, oh, I now have this. I'll just spam B against all enemies. Problem solved. Game, like, streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, like, okay, I have a great sword and I have a mace. And I'm fighting a giant ice monster. How do I fight this with these? And you have to learn how to actually play.
Yeah. Like, it forces you to improvise with managing your inventory and dealing with encounters on what you think you can or cannot deal with. And I can appreciate that, but at the same time, I can understand why some people, including Jim, don't enjoy that. Where it's like, it can be, inventory management can be tedious. That has always been an issue of games, especially with games with a lot of inventory management, like a lot of RPGs. Like you'll notice like a big shift in difference between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, for example.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1, I I was not a huge fan of for a number of reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
not comparing it to 3 because 3 was a disaster. But
Well, that's a separate kettle of fish entirely. Um, but I can understand why people don't want something to stop the rhythm of the gameplay. So that you open a menu and you select a different item, and then you return combat, and then after a while you have to do it again because the weapon broke. I can understand why a lot of people find that tedious and just plain not fun. Again, I have not played Breath of the Wild, so I can't really give my opinion on it because I feel like different games do it to different degrees. I brought up Dark Souls, I brought up Mass Effect. I don't think there was weapon degradation in Mass Effect at all.
I don't remember.
I
It's been a while.
I don't think there was. But something like The Witcher 3. I really liked how The Witcher 3 did it, even though The Witcher 3 was very tedious about it. But to me, it felt very thematic to the series and the setting, where you have Geralt, a witcher, who's a pro monster hunter, and he has to prepare for these very big, dangerous contracts of these very unique creatures. So he has to get his weapons repaired, he has to maybe gather ingredients, he has to concoct different formulae and potions to prepare for a fight. And then afterwards, he might just make enough money to do that again. And to me, that felt very thematic, and I loved how The Witcher handled it, even though, again, a lot of inventory management, and it can be rather tedious.
Another game that I think did inventory management and inconvenience in that way very well was Skyrim, or just Elder Scrolls in general.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go into your inventory a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in Oblivion, where in Oblivion, I don't think Skyrim weapons break at all,
I
but
don't remember.
they do in Oblivion, and I know because Armorer, like repairing them to 125% efficiency was a thing. Yeah, to make them stronger than they normally were. So it's an inconvenience, but it made it feel more realistic. It made it feel like the world made sense. Uh, Although it made a little bit less sense that you could carry 10 billion cantaloupes or something. But
Yeah.
it it just felt right. Like it's like if you were swimming underwater and you just had infinite breathing. It's convenient, but it doesn't make any damn sense.
Mm-hmm. It's like so many different game mechanics appeal to different people more so than others. Some game mechanics people absolutely hate. Like, I know a lot of people who don't even bother listening to any of the audio in a video game. Like, they'll just
I
like put on their own music and they'll just mute the game. And it's like, I cannot understand that. But I know that's very popular.
I do know that there are a lot of people who play WoW muted and just skip any and all cutscenes. Like in a dungeon or raid, of course, people aren't going to give you the time usually. But if you're playing through Legion leveling or whatever for the first time and you're just skipping all the cutscenes and everything's muted and you're just sort of like running through and pressing two macros to do 18 different abilities, what's the point?
Well, yeah, and it's like, I know a lot of people who skip cutscenes. I know a lot of people who they don't like the grind in an MMO. They don't like inventory management in RPGs. Like, people play games for different reasons. People like different things in different games to different degrees. one of the great things about video games as an entire medium, to get all freaking pretentious right now, is that it allows that level of freedom on an individual basis.
I'll say that if people come to Breath of the Wild, or if they, like it's an MMO, come to Breath of the Wild, if they get Breath of the Wild expecting it to be similar to Skyward Sword or Ocarina of Time or something, it's not at
Mhm.
all.
Everything I've
Uh,
been hearing, it's a huge departure.
it the entire thought process for the developers was how can we differentiate this from the others.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a straightforward game in any sense of that word. Like I today decided to go out exploring because it
Uh,
doesn't tell you like where to go in a straight line. So I jumped off of the central plateau, the Imperial Plateau. I don't remember what it's called. Who goes to that anymore? And I jumped into a desert, and I ran into one of those fucking crab walking things that shoots lasers that almost one shot me every time. God, I I decided to try and fight one of those because like I had always run away from them because they are so strong and it pisses me off. So I decided, okay, I have like 8 hearts now. I have tons of food. I have like a fucking lightning sword. I'm gonna go fight that, and I managed to beat it, but it was not easy, and it almost killed me like 5 times. But so I just reloaded. I was like, screw that save, just run
mm,
away from it. But then I jumped like from a mountain peak into a desert, and I discovered the Gerudo Desert,
neat.
which nobody told me to go to. It and I guess I saw like a giant mechanical camel or some shit in the distance. So I
Neat.
guess that'll be involved.
Neat.
So I'm kind of rambling.
Yeah.
My point is that you explore and you kind of make your own adventure. You don't have to take one road to get to Gerudo Valley or something.
Mm-hmm. Um, I remember I was talking to you about this the other night, and a lot of like this whole concept of like weapon degradations and like people like hold on to their good stuff because like they want to prepare for like what eventually will be a big fight, so they end up using a bunch of dinky stuff all the time, and that can be a little annoying and tedious.
That is one of the drawbacks to the weapon durability system, yeah.
It reminds me a lot of a game, two games actually, that had a sequel, Mercenaries. And if anyone remembers Mercenaries, one of the main things about that thing is you would collect a lot of like airdrops and weapon strikes and bombing runs and all sorts of things. And there'd be a lot of times in the game where you would just like, okay, I have 15 bunker busters and daisy clouds, and I also have one nuke just in case. I will never use these because I'm going to wait until like I need them.
I have been that way whenever there's a limited supply of anything in any game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for instance, how many do I have? I have like 20 shock arrows in Breath of the Wild
Neat.
that I'm not going to use because I want to save them. Like usually what's a good example of doing this in another game? In Skyrim, I think no, I used a lot of arrows in Skyrim. Yeah, weapons don't break in Skyrim. That's
Yeah, I don't think Skyrim's a good example.
yeah, it's not. That always weirded me out. I can't think of a good example. Probably something in Oblivion. I would save like a or the staves in Oblivion are a good example. They had limited amounts of magic
Charges.
juju,
Yeah.
and you'd have a stave like Wabajack. If anyone remembers Wabajack, it was Shea Gorath's staff that you can get in Oblivion, probably Skyrim too. I forgot. But you could aim it at mobs and fire it, and it would transform them into an animal, like a sheep or something. And you could kill the sheep, and then they would just die. So it was a really great FU ability that I'd never use because I'd want it when I needed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, this is just it's a rather intricate thing with game design and trying to find a right balance, but even if you find a right balance, it's not going to appeal to everyone. And in this case, it didn't appeal to Jim, and he was critical of it, and people decide to be extremely petty and pissy about it and DDoS his site.
Ripperoni and cheese, jimquisition.com org
.gov/net
gov
at Yahoo.
at yahoo.biz.
Oh
God.
Yeah, I need to play the game to actually have a full informed opinion on it. But for the most part, it feels just like a difference of opinion to what appeals and what does not appeal to a lot of people in games. And, it's fine if you disagree with Jim. That's perfectly fine. Adam doesn't. And depending on how I would play the game, I may or may not. But, like, don't fucking DDoS his site, you fucking piss baby.
That's the way that everybody solves disputes now, is DDoSing. I can't wait for the next WoW expansion, right?
Oh boy, or the next event.
Overwatch ban wave?
Yeah, the next Overwatch fucking skin that you can only get exclusively if you play 2 matches in Hero of the Storm.
Yeah, I think they also did that with, what was it? A World of Warcraft mount. I think it's already too late to get that mount, damn it.
Probably.
But not the point.
Yeah, not the point. Although, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on. We're not gonna solve the conflict in this one discussion.
Yeah.
That, like, 5 people will even watch.
Yeah, it's like difference of opinion. Don't DDoS sites, you piss baby. But speaking of Overwatch, because once again, it wouldn't be a podcast unless I talked about Overwatch for some time.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Yeah. So Overwatch's new character, Orisa.
Orisa.
Who, funny enough, if you look up her bio, she's only a month old because she's a robot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like you're literally killing a baby. Good job. I also found it funny that, like, Zenyatta, who's this great Buddhist Zen master monk, he's only 20. But he's a robot, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's a robot, so he got instantly upgraded with the person
with enlightenment.
He got instantly uploaded enlightenment. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Anyway, Orisa, she's being delayed. You can play her on the PTR right now, but she's not going to hit live servers until, I think, the end of March. So, whatever.
So, basically, Sombra 2.0.
Well, no, because then, like, it'd be like the end of next year.
Give it time.
We'll see. Overwatch director also says that Overwatch might come to the Switch.
Oops. That would be a little strange, but I guess I would look at it. I don't know if I would get it still, but I would look at it. I would definitely point my eyes in the direction of it.
Yeah, they say, like, it would have a lot of technical challenges, which I could understand, but they're open-minded to doing it.
I mean, Blizzard doesn't really have a good track record with putting games on consoles.
True, although I do think Overwatch has been doing pretty well on the other major consoles.
Fair enough.
And thank God they are also patching them separately from the PC version.
Well, yeah, if they didn't, it would show a level of incompetence that I think even Blizzard, at their memeiest, cannot reach.
Yeah, well, although considering, like, they mostly do PC stuff. But yeah, I'm so happy they decided to do that, because, like, it'd be insufferable for one or both sides. The Switch. According to Nintendo, its first month of sales has met expectations already.
Yeah, Nintendo, the Switch, I believe, has outsold the Wii in the same period. which is very good.
Yeah.
Because the Wii, I'm not sure if it's the best-selling console of all time, but it's one of them.
I know it had a very strong start.
It sold over 100 million units as well in its
Yeah.
lifetime, so that'd be very good if it did that. I personally hope the Switch has wild 3DS level success because I want Nintendo to be in a good spot because I really didn't like living through the Wii U days.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I like the Wii U, but that console was not one that anybody wanted to develop for.
Yeah, I can understand. It's the main thing I always find with Nintendo's consoles being the weakest is decent third-party support. Like Nintendo's first-party games, oh, love them. Give me my Metroids, give me my Zeldas. I love them. I never get tired of them. Beyond that,
That is the problem, isn't it? The last system I think they had really good third party support was the GameCube.
yeah.
So they have made it very clear that that is not the direction they want to go. I think the Switch is the closest thing to the GameCube they've made in a really long time. Because it doesn't have some kind of crazy gimmick. It switches between handheld and console, but it's basically a really fucking powerful gaming tablet that you can upscale to the TV. That's really what it is. It's not like this is the motion control, this is the VR, this is the two screens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's despite how swag it is, it's pretty straightforward, really. It's basically Nintendo Android console.
Yeah.
And I would compare it to like a PS Vita, but for Nintendo.
Neat. Another thing with Overwatch I forgot is they're actually having some cheating issues. And Blizzard has had to stomp down on them pretty hard.
Aren't they always having cheating issues?
Well, this time is Overwatch very recently came out with what do you call it? Server browsing, where you can go to different servers and join separate games on an individual basis, which is common with online games. There have been a number of server browsers where they're just meant for idling, so that people can get game experience, so that they can get loot boxes while not playing the game.
Well, that's not very good.
Yeah. And because this has become such a prevalent issue and it's become such a drain on the experience of people who are actually trying to play the game, Blizzard has just made it so that, like, you can't gain XP in these game modes anymore.
Well, once again, exploiters ruining something for everybody else.
That's usually how it goes. So, I don't really know like most of the details, but it's like in custom games, can't earn XP. Any other game mode that I'm pretty sure just like if it's not just like the matchmaking or ladder, you're not getting XP.
Well, rest and rip.
You know, it's a minor thing because again, this is just cosmetic stuff, but it's like don't exploit. Don't like be doing this. You know it's wrong. Stop it.
Oh, the fruitless attempts to stop exploiters.
Speaking of, unless
Oh,
you were going to
God.
say anything else.
I have other stuff to bring up, but nothing that would segue into exploitation.
For Honor has its own cheaters.
Well, I'd like to think that the cheaters who were banned in Overwatch simply went to For Honor.
And Ubisoft has banned quite a lot of people. Let me see if I can't find some of the details here. Again, AFK farming. People are just AFK farming in these games, not actually playing the game. Stop it.
AFKing is a very traditional problem in any PvP related game. I know that in Battlegrounds and WoW, frequently you'll have people who just auto run into a wall so they don't go AFK and get booted, so
Mm-hmm.
that they can just generate honor.
Yeah. And like there are people who saying like if you just put like an AFK timer in like any of these games, like it would fix it, but like no, because they're pretty easy bots to get around that.
Yeah, there are bots that will get around anything. I've seen bots in WoW fly around without the ability to fly, use abilities multiple times when they're on cooldown, teleport, all kinds of stuff. And I remember one time there was an epidemic in WoW of gold sellers creating mass numbers of level 1 characters and having them fall to their death in Orgrimmar so that their bodies would spell out the website where you could buy gold. Yeah, I'm not
Oh
kidding.
my god, that's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, it's very elaborate. It happened like every day for months, and every day a GM would have to pop in and delete their corpses.
Advertising through your corpses.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what I was meant to feel by looking at it, but it was it was a moment I'll never forget. Several moments because it lasted for a while. It was all during Wrath.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Somehow they've seemingly managed to stop them from doing that anymore. Maybe that's just not what gold sellers do anymore for some reason, but they haven't, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, don't do that.
You don't spam create low level characters and kill them off to shape the message of a gold website.
With the corpses. Oh, that made my day.
So the was it the test demo, I could just say demo, of Splatoon 2
Uh-huh.
called Global Test Fire.
Splatoon.
Yes, thank you for that. It is live. Well, the game isn't live, but the download is live in Japan, which, because the Switch is region free, means if you have a Japanese account on your Switch, you can download it now. But I don't think there's any reason to do that. Just wait for it to come to your region because the actual test isn't up yet. It will be up between March 23rd and 26th, I believe. And so if you want to have a several months early experience with Splatoon 2, then I'll be there. Do it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to play online right now, so I would do it if I were you. And I plan to get Splatoon 2 because I'm a squid now.
But are you? Or are you just a kid now who's just lying?
We'll have to solve this. All right. This is going to separate the squids from the kids. God, we need to do a playthrough of. I mean, I don't really know if there's a campaign mode or anything like that. We need to do some playing of Splatoon 2 when it comes out, and we need to be cosplaying the fucking characters.
I want to cosplay as. What was the presentation where they're doing a bunch of Switch stuff with Nintendo? Was it like at E3 or something? And like the one guy who's like dressed like really badly on stage with like the Splatoon guns.
Hold on a second. I need to find that so we can put that in the video.
Please send it to me so I remember. I'm not going to remember. I've also closed a bunch of windows that I shouldn't have closed because now I'm not going to remember to put them in the video.
Okay, I find plenty of Splatoon cosplay, but not the. What? You sure it's E3?
I'm not sure. That's why I was questioning, Adam.
I don't remember that. Whatever it is you're talking about. Yeah, I can't find it. We'll have to find something at some point. Okay, here's Link as a Splatoon character. That's not helping.
I mean, maybe maybe for you.
I know, right?
I don't know.
So, yeah, Splatoon 2 global test fire, March 23rd to 26th. The demo is not available to download yet in Europe or North America, but it will be. If you have to download it immediately, I guess go to a Japanese Nintendo Switch account and download it there, but it's not going to be any different. I mean, you can go to the menu if you want. I mean, just listen to the menu music, but that's
Which
about
is
it.
probably pretty good.
It's nice, yeah, if you just want the atmosphere, I guess. Also, there Nintendo has been putting out some virtual console games already. So, what was I think it was the Neo Geo they put out games for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about the Neo Geo. I don't even know when it came out. It was before my time, during my time. I don't know. Either way, they put out some games for the Neo Geo between $5 and $8. I don't really know if that's a great deal, but just to let you guys know that the eShop is not just staying stagnant for like the next month or two just because it's the launch window. So keep an eye on it. If any of you have a Switch, which, let's be honest, probably isn't a lot.
Nope. Thanks, Nintendo. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm looking through a couple things. Some of them aren't worth bringing up, but I don't really know how to feel about this. Nintendo at the moment is not really acknowledging issues with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, they're kind of saying that the Switch has no widespread issues at all.
Yeah,
None. Zero.
that's not true. Like, I mean, to be honest, I've said this before in recording, but my left Joy-Con, people have been saying the left Joy-Con has syncing issues. Mine doesn't. Like I've never had that problem. So I can't say I have, but a lot of people report it.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that literally everybody isn't lying. So uh, I don't know what to say about that, Reggie. I'm not going to make a body is ready joke because everybody does that. Anytime somebody mentions his name, they do that, and it's gotten really old.
You know,
But
it's my body is ready, man.
my body is Reggie Fils-Aimé. Yeah.
Yeah, my body is Reggie.
Well, I just broke what I just said.
Anyway, yeah, people having some issues with the Switch. I've heard a number of things to varying degrees, but it's like, oh,
The another couple issues worth bringing up, I guess. They've said that, you know, they haven't said anything about the scratching. They said the dead pixels, a couple was normal, which I would disagree with a lot. That's
it's a feature.
It's a feature, yeah. I don't know what to tell you with that. I haven't experienced any scratching or dead pixels or anything because I have a screen protector. My left Joy-Con just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have those issues. I haven't seen any dead pixels. So it feels awkward because I have a Switch, but I'm not having these issues. So I'm sorry to people who are. I don't know how common it is. But another thing is that the where is it? Fuck it, whatever. So Minecraft story mode. I can't find what the other thing I was gonna say was. We are professionals, Dan.
We are professionals. You want me to go into mine while you're looking?
Well, I just want to mention that Minecraft story mode is coming to the Switch on June 27th,
Whoa.
which I really don't care about,
Whoa.
but I've heard that it's apparently maybe good. I don't know.
Uh, I watched one person, I think it was Dodger, play through the first episode of that. I can honestly say it is easily one of Telltale's worst games.
All right, well there you go. Glowing I believe that is worst game of 2017 for the Nintendo Switch. 9 out of 10 from Dan.
But like you can tell it's bad cuz she didn't continue the series.
And she gets paid for doing it.
But like there's no like the world, the characters involved in the story, like everything is Minecraft. Like all the jokes are Minecraft.
Wow, look at that creeper. It's gonna explode.
Where it's just like, oh boy, I could go real hungry. I'm really hungry. I could really go for some pork chops. Looks at a pig. It's like humor appealing to the player base of Minecraft, which for the most part are younger kids, and it's insufferable.
So, yeah. I really don't know what people expect from a game called Minecraft Story Mode. I mean, that title is an abortion in and of itself. It's like calling something like a couple years ago, I think, during the one of the Star Trek movies. A game came out called Star Trek: The Video Game, and that title made me cringe into another dimension. And it was just as bad as you'd expect with a title like that.
Well,
But
don't forget about, there's the Ratchet and Clank game based off the movie, based off the game.
so Inception.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Minecraft Story Mode, June 27th. We're not going to say to buy it, but that's when it comes out. So
Yeah, it's there.
it's your money.
But like,
It's
just
your money.
Here's the plot of the first episode.
Go ahead.
Spoiler warning, I guess.
Yeah, spoiler warning in case you really want to stay in the dark about Minecraft Story Mode.
You play Jesse, who can both be male or female with, a unisex name like that.
Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah. And your whole thing is you and your friends want to go to Minecraft Con or Minecon.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, there's a convention about Minecraft in Minecraft.
Okay, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not overreacting, that when you said that, I had to take a double take for a second, because that is the stupidest fucking thing. Going to a Minecraft convention in Minecraft.
That's about Minecraft. Yeah.
But
to
in
do
Minecraft,
so, they need to win. Yeah, they're in Minecraft. You are characters in Minecraft. You're not people playing Minecraft. You are literally in Minecraft, living in Minecraft.
I'm having an existential crisis.
Yeah, it's kind of... And to do so, you need to win a building contest. So, like, you're building stuff with blocks, like in Minecraft, and you're out trying to outdo a number of other teams. And everything is just Minecraft. Minecraft does not have enough depth in it to make a story. It's like making a feature film about Tetris.
Don't encourage them.
I swear to God, it's gonna happen. They're gonna
It'll
do it.
happen
They're
one
gonna
day.
do it with Pong. For fuck's sake, they did it with Battleship.
They made a movie about shit like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and all that. Remember Pixels?
I remember Pixels, but like that wasn't like specifically based in the environment of an individual game. It was Adam Sandler fights some retro video game characters.
Starring Peter Dinklage, who I don't know what contract with Satan they made him sign to be in that movie.
I know, it's probably the same one they penned up for anybody who was in Dragon Ball Evolution.
God damn. You know that Toriyama, the guy responsible for writing the Dragon Ball series, he actually hated what they did to Evolution so much that it made him get back into the series to create Super. It was because he hated Dragon Ball Evolution. That was the restoration. That was the restoration of the Dragon Ball IP, was because Toriyama hated what the US did to Dragon Ball Evolution.
God. Dragon Ball Evolution is like, it's the reason why people hate Hollywood so much. Or at least many popular, super bland, gray, tasteless culture of Hollywood movies. Where it's just they just do this most broad appeal fucking stuff to make something as grayed out and ununique as possible.
They're afraid to actually hit a niche. They want to be like, all right, an all-American, 18 to 25-year-old, spiky-haired, average Midwestern to, Western white guy named Goku, of course, goes to a high school called, High School Academy or something.
I think it was called like University Tech or
Yeah,
something.
it's called University Tech.
But it's a
God.
high school.
Jesus Christ, man.
It's
And
more.
like,
It's more confusing than like going through like that first episode of Life is Strange. It's like, wait, are we in a high school? Is this an academy? What's going on?
they don't even try. Like we just so the audience knows, so you guys know at home. Me and Dan and Rob, well, they don't know Robbie.
Yeah,
Me, Dan, and our friends,
all our
Robbie
friends,
and Andrew.
yeah.
All of our friends, yeah. We went to go see
The
Dragon Ball
premiere.
Evolution in theaters. Yeah, the premiere. And I gotta tell you, we actually did have a really good time because it was so funny.
But like we came into this with like the lowest expectations possible.
Yeah, we did not expect this movie to be good. And somehow I think we were let down.
I mean, like, there is like the worst thing a movie can be, in my opinion, the worst thing anything can be is boring. Dragon Ball Evolution at least has the benefit of like it's so bad it's kind of funny.
There were multiple times when somebody, including one of our friends, would yell out something about what was happening, and it would make the entire auditorium laugh.
Special beam cannon.
Yes, like when Master Roshi, or just the generic guy they got to play Master Roshi, was doing this weird mumbo jumbo with his hands to revive Goku, or to bring him back to consciousness. And I think my friend Andrew just screams out, "Ultimate CPR!" And everybody just lost it. It was great. Like it was like a movie that you went to see and you had fun with the entire audience just because it was so bad.
But
and everybody knew it was going to be so bad.
It's just it's a bad movie, and it's a very bad Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, it's a double whammy.
It's just like, you can have like a movie that's good, but like it's not good for like what it's based on. Or you could have something that's good on what it's based on, but it's not necessarily a good movie. This is just bad all around.
This was like U-Bowl presents Dragon Ball.
Oh god, it would have been, yeah.
Except instead of being incredibly boring, it was actually funny.
Oh god. I'm just glad like nobody like joke supported him on Kickstarter.
That's because people really don't like him.
He's not a good person. He's very mean.
Yeah, I mean he's the type of person who will literally fight you.
Yeah, he boxes, and he's gone on a number of occasions where he's boxed people who criticize his movies and beats the crap out of them.
What do you say about somebody who not only makes a terrible product and is probably a scam artist, let's be honest,
Yeah.
because of the loopholes in German law, but who will also literally beat the shit out of people who criticize him? I mean, he might as well be a fucking sociopath, I think.
He probably is, but like he has enough money that like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like, like Troll 2. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta. Someone's at my door. Yeah, we're back. Someone was at my door. So yeah, the whole point is like something that's bad can be good for an entertainment value. It can be silly, it can be funny, it could have a really funny scene or whatever. But, a bad movie's still a bad movie.
It's definitely not usually considered a good movie if it gets entertainment value that goes directly against whatever it was trying to do. So, Troll 2 is not a good movie just because it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's still a notoriously bad movie. I would say Troll 1 is a worse movie because it's not nearly as funny.
Yeah, the only redeeming quality about Troll 2 is that it is funny, so Troll 1's just not funny.
Yeah, also they have like very little in common with each other, so it's hard to tell like why they're sequels.
because the director just doesn't know what he's doing.
Maybe.
Probably is the answer.
I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's a long-winded way of saying, things that are bad can be good, but they're still bad.
Yeah, things that are bad are bad.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about Dragon Ball Evolution from something else.
Yeah,
Something about Splatoon.
Yeah, the door really
Oh,
interrupted our thought process.
now I remember. It was Minecraft Story Mode.
Yeah. Minecraft story mode.
It's not good.
Well, there you go. I haven't played it. I haven't watched it, but Dan has at least watched it.
I watched the first episode of it. Like, I can't. And like, I will defend some of the Telltale games. Although I have like no interest whatsoever in playing the new Walking Dead one, even though that's like their flagship series. I just don't care.
You probably don't care because they've overextended themselves to the point where they're more grotesque than Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but I still like some of their games. Like I honestly think their Borderlands game is the best. It's the best they've ever done.
It very well might be. I don't know.
Yeah, although I would like them to go back to doing more traditional point-and-click adventure games, like Sam and Max.
They'll probably do that when the sun explodes because the money seems to be in the Telltale style. They're literally called Telltale style games.
Yeah, these very narrative heavy. I mean, they're practically dating sims without the poon.
They're almost like visual novels with slightly more interactivity.
Yeah, that's essentially it. You get to choose like one of 3 dialogue options. Eventually, they'll force you into like a choice A or choice B thing, 2 or 3 times an episode, and eventually it'll culminate in a disappointing ending.
I feel like the only game of the Telltale style games that was actually a breath of fresh air was Life is Strange.
Yeah, although Life is Strange did a number of things fairly different.
Yeah, that's because it wasn't made by Telltale.
Well, yeah, but like you have some dialogue options, you have rewind power, so you can explore like the initial reaction of each of them. There were a lot of things you could interact with in the environment. Like if you move this one plank of wood in the garage, there's a bird nest there and it gets smashed.
It was more creative, I suppose. It I don't know if it turned the genre on its head, but it introduced a few things that it allowed you to interact with the game in a way that pretty much no other Telltale game has, and they've all been pretty predictable with the way they've let you interact with the world, whether it's Game of Thrones or Walking Dead.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Minecraft Story Mode and Game of Thrones are tied for the worst. And that is pretty sad.
It's really sad to say that Game of Thrones has to compete with Minecraft in story.
For last place.
Yeah, it's depressing because, I mean, people meme George R.R. Martin a lot, but he is a really good writer. So
yeah, the world building in Song of Ice and Fire is amazing.
So the fact that people would compare his IP to Minecraft in any way other than to say that it's better is very sad.
Yeah, they're bad for different reasons. With Minecraft, it has no substance. With Game of Thrones, it follows too closely with the main story to the point where it's like the characters you're interacting with are just direct analogs to the main characters. Like, this character is clearly Sansa, but she's not Sansa. This character is clearly Jon Snow, but he's not Jon Snow.
It's basically a filler arc.
It's a filler arc, but, like, this could have been done so well. Like, when you have, like, such a big, expansive, fleshed-out world, like the Song of Ice and Fire, you can have, like, these separate adventures that touch on the main series, but, like, you know, it's smaller in scope. It's smaller in scale, but still big in scope.
What I think the problem is that Telltale was trying to be too safe. They have no imagination. And that is already clear because of the way they've done all of their games.
Yeah. And it's just like, they finally made a sequel to The Walking Dead, which was like their biggest one, and I've heard very little people talking about it,
So
which
have
is
I.
it's a big indicator that like people just don't care. And so long as like they're making, decent money at it, they don't want to change it. They've literally gone on record saying like if it's not broke, there's no reason to fix it.
Telltale, you're iterating, not innovating.
Yeah, pretty much. And the reason I say like, Borderlands is one of their best is because like it was funny, it was comedic. It wasn't like super serious about you have to make a decision of this person will live or die. And it's just like I'm expecting them like to make, I don't know if they did or not, but I'm expecting them to make a Saw Telltale game.
I don't even want to. I just want them to just not do anything ever again.
I want them to go back to the Sam and Max. Do point and click. Do that. That was good.
Oh yeah,
Do more comedy. Do more comedy, Telltale. You're good at comedy.
they'll get on that. Never. I expect it to be bundled with StarCraft Ghost, Banjo Kazooie 3.
Banjo 3E.
If they ever made it, they would totally give it that name. I mean,
Well,
you
they
heard
did
Nuts
Banjo
and Bolts.
2E. Yeah, we know about Nuts and Bolts.
I was like, in Nuts and Bolts, they already covered that people don't want a game where you just jump around.
Where you just collect things, people just want to shoot things.
Yeah,
even though
wanna...
the whole point of Nuts and Bolts is you have to go around collecting things.
people want really bad car games. That's what they want.
That. I mean, like, people have gone on about this much more than we ever will. Like, I can't even remember the last time I picked up, hell, a rare game in general, let alone one of the Banjo games. But hey, hopefully Ukulele will finally give us what we need. Because honestly, right now, I feel like a lot of games are hitting their stride on what made series good. Like, there's a lot of return to form happening that I think has been very positive. 2016's Doom was very good. Resident Evil 7 was very good. And they weren't like trying to like change all sorts of stuff or following big industry trends. They were following with what made the franchise good to begin with. And I'm seeing a lot of that, and I'm hoping Ukulele will be like that.
I am also hoping that. I'm also hoping that Mass Effect Andromeda will be more like 2 than 3.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could do like a whole video on the issues with specifically Mass Effect 3, but maybe the whole series. Because the whole series has some issues.
Except for 2. 2 is my waifu.
Who is your Mass Effect waifu, Adam?
Talizora Naraya. Anybody else, kill yourself.
Adam, do not talk to my wife. Get out.
That's yours too.
I don't know. I like Tally. She's fun.
Yeah, we will have to duel to the death over who gets to get sickly alien waifu.
I like to imagine like we're like in full like Mass Effect like Super N7 armor, and it's like let us fight, Adam. Our final battle, and like we both like pull out like hard light shivs that I thought were like really stupid, and then proceed to slap fight each other.
Like yes, slap with the shiv. I guess it's not sharp.
Well, no, it's just light. Like we think like they're gonna hurt ourselves with them, but like we just realize, oh, it's just doesn't do anything. It's just a hologram.
It's basically just a bat.
And then like we just slap each other to death, both to death.
I'm trying to see if like Mass Effect Andromeda does it have any reviews up? Probably not.
I know like they're going to be like streaming some of like the first hours of gameplay, which I get like people are excited for that, but it's like no, I want to experience that myself.
Yeah, I don't see any. It comes out in 6 days, just so everybody knows.
Ooh, boy. March, baby. It's It's a hell of a month this year.
Yeah, March is real. God, I guess I have to get this. March 21st. It's like, jeez, man, I can't get all these things. I mean, I can. I guess I can trade in more stuff to GameStop. Get like, here is my soul.
Yeah, here's a couple pennies.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like.
Well, not actual pennies, store credit pennies.
Yeah, store credit pennies, even worse.
God, I remember like one time when I was younger and like I really just wanted to get like a new game. So I had my entire collection of I think Xbox games and I just brought them in to redeem at GameStop. And like he like went through all of my stack of games and like he scanned it. It's like that's $2, that's $1, that's $5. And like, really, that's $1?
When I was trading in games to get the Switch, because I figured, I have a lot of games. I can trade in some of them, like Phantom Hourglass. I fucking hated that game. I don't know who thought going to the water temple repeatedly and redoing the same puzzles was a great idea, but fuck that person. So I traded that in. That was like $14, but it was like 50% bonus it was like 20 something bucks. Pretty good, I think. But I checked some games because I did a lot of research on this beforehand. I didn't just bring in random games. And I was like, okay, I really hated Thief for the PS4.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna check what it is. It's like 5 cents. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like 5 cents. Not even a fucking dime.
Not even $1.
Yeah, not even $1. Like, literally not $1 for a game from this generation.
That's just like so crazy to think about because like even if like a game has been disappointing or not so good, like this is a game like people like put like a year or two of their lives into to make.
I could recycle it for more than that, I'm sure.
Oh.
The materials it is made from have a higher market value than that.
Yeah, probably. Oh, well, that's all I got.
Yeah, we haven't even been covering news for like the past 30 minutes.
Yeah, not really been ranting on about Telltale and stuff. Speaking of which, one thing I know I'm going to do when I turn the recording off is I need to go watch Samurai Jack.
Oh yeah, the first episode of that was Sunday.
Yeah, so like I'm a little behind on that. I need to get on that.
I think I caught the end of that.
Cool. So yeah, unless you got anything else, Adam, I'm kind of done.
No, it's time to cook dinner. So, this has been the Skillcast for Tuesday, March 14th, 2017. And we are Adam and Dan. We will see you guys later.
Peace out.